Hello friends, this is Devpriya and you are welcome to Nunia Sir's English classes. With this video, we'll start a new chapter that is drainage. It is third chapter of geography book of grade 9. Study points of the chapter are drainage system in India. Under this, we'll study about the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. Next one is drainage patterns. The Himalayan rivers. Under this will cover the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. Next is the peninsular rivers, and under this we'll study about the Narmada, the Tapi, the Godavari, the Mahanadi, the Krishna and the Kaveri. Next subtopic is lakes, role of rivers in the economy, and at last river pollution. So basically in this video we'll cover two topics, and they are drainage system in India and drainage patterns. So we'll start with drainage system in India. Indian rivers are divided into two major groups based on their physical features. In our previous chapter we studied about physical features and what they are. So based on physical features, our Indian rivers are divided into two major groups, and they are the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. So the rivers which are originating from Himalayas, they are known as Himalayan rivers, and the rivers which are originating from peninsular plateau are known as peninsular rivers. And here is one example given for both Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. Now we'll see some points which are based on Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. So basics are point of origin, nature of rivers, source of water, course of rivers, where do rivers drain in, other features made by rivers, and some of their examples. So Himalayan rivers. Point of origin is Himalayas and glaciers. We know what are glaciers. In simple language we can say they are ice rivers. So when the ice rivers will melt down, which are deposited on Himalayas, Himalayan rivers will originate from there. So point of origin is Himalayas and glaciers. Now peninsular rivers. Their point of origin is Western Ghats and Central Highlands. Now over here we have to focus, because we know in Peninsular Plateau we studied about Deccan Plateau and Eastern Ghats also, but here they both are an exception. We'll only talk about Western Ghats and Central Highlands. So point of origin for peninsular rivers is Western Ghats and Central Highlands. Now nature of rivers. Himalayan rivers are perennial. Now, what is perennial? Anything which is throughout the year is known as perennial. And over here, we know we are talking about rivers. So, any river which is flowing throughout the year is known as perennial river. So, now we can say that all the Himalayan rivers or most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial rivers, whereas peninsular rivers are seasonal. When rainy season will come, then only rivers will get their water. Now source of water, from where rivers are getting their water. So Himalayan rivers first. Himalayan rivers are getting their water from rainfall as well as from glaciers. So when rain will come, then also the rivers will get water, and when glaciers, or we can say the ice rivers, when they will melt down, then also the rivers will get water. Now peninsular rivers, they are only dependent on rainfall. When rain will come, then only the rivers will get water and they will start flowing. Course, it means the path, the flowing path of river. So Himalayan rivers are having long course, means the length of their course is long. Performs erosional activity. We know what is erosion. In simple words we can say cut off of soil or flowing off of the soil. So Himalayan rivers, they are performing erosional activity. How? Suppose one river is flowing, so the sand or soil deposited on its bank, it will carry it with its water. So it will perform erosional activity. So most or all of the Himalayan rivers are performing erosional activity, and they are also carrying a huge loads of silt and sand with their water. Now, course of peninsular rivers. Their course is short and shallower. Himalayan rivers are having long course, but peninsular rivers are having short course, and their course is also shallower, means the depth of water is not that much deep as Himalayan rivers are having. Now, draining, where the river or the main stream, it is giving its water to a large water body. For example, we can take ocean or any sea. So, draining, Himalayan rivers, most of rivers flow towards east and drain in Bay of Bengal except Indus. Here we are talking about most of rivers, not all rivers. So most of Himalayan rivers, they flow towards east and they drain their water, they give their water to Bay of Bengal. And over here Indus is an exception, because Indus, which is originating near Lake Mansarovar in China, it is flowing towards west and at last it drains its water in Arabian Sea. Now peninsular rivers. Again, most of rivers, not all, most of rivers flow towards east and drain in Bay of Bengal. Now we can say this is similarity between both Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers, because most of their rivers, they flow towards east and drain in Bay of Bengal. In Himalayan rivers we see Indus was an exception. Over here we'll see Narmada and Tapi are some major rivers which are an exception. So they are some major rivers which flow in west, and they also drain in Arabian Sea, which Narmada and Tapi in peninsular river, and in Himalayan river Indus is an exception. Now other features made by Himalayan and peninsular rivers. So Himalayan rivers form floodplains, oxbow lakes, meanders and deltas. We'll study what all are these, but first let's see some examples and other features made by peninsular rivers. So peninsular rivers form estuaries unlike Himalayan rivers. So examples for both rivers. For Himalayan river, examples we can take are the Ganga, the Brahmaputra, the Indus, the Yamuna, etc. These are 3 to 4 some major rivers, but there are many more rivers which are originating from Himalayas and glaciers. Now peninsular rivers, the Narmada, the Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri, etc. Many more examples are there. For example, if we take the Mahanadi is there, the Tapi is there, so many rivers are there. Now let's see some other features made by Himalayan and peninsular rivers. So first was floodplain, and floodplains are formed by Himalayan rivers. So the area under this terrace-like structure which we can see in the picture, this is floodplains, and most of the Himalayan rivers or all of the Himalayan rivers are forming floodplains. Next was meanders. Again, Himalayan rivers are forming meanders. So what are meanders? In place of moving straight, when a river is flowing in a curvy way like this one, when it's flowing in a curvy way, that is known as meanders. Not the whole river is known as meanders. These areas or the curves we can say, they are known as meanders. So most of Himalayan rivers are forming meanders. Next was Oxbow Lake. Again, Oxbow lakes, they are formed by Himalayan rivers. Now suppose last year this river was flowing in this pattern, and this year the flow of water, the pressure of water in flood was relatively less, or it was relatively high than last year. So the main river is changed its path from this path to this path, and with this part of this old river, it differentiated from main river, and this formed a pond or a lake like structure, and that we are calling as Oxbow Lake. So most of Himalayan rivers are forming Oxbow lakes. Next, Himalayan rivers are also forming deltas. Now what are deltas? In simple language, we can say deltas are the finger-like projection made by rivers before draining in any big water body or large water body. Now again, suppose this is one main stream, any river, suppose this is Ganga. This is coming and this is ready to drain its water in, suppose, Bay of Bengal, because we know it's a Himalayan river, it is flowing in east. At last it is draining its water in Bay of Bengal. So this is Ganga and this is Bay of Bengal, and it's ready to drain its water in Bay of Bengal. But before draining its water, it will get some space, so it will distribute its water into small water stream like this. And this river, which we named it as Ganga, this will form a delta. So we can say finger-like projections made by rivers or any river before draining its water in any large water body, that is known as delta. Again, we know most of peninsular rivers and Himalayan rivers also, they are forming delta before draining their water into any large water body. Now what are estuaries? They are mainly formed by peninsular rivers. And the major rivers which are forming estuaries are the Narmada and the Tapi, which are flowing in west and draining their water in Arabian Sea. Now here we'll take example of Narmada, and suppose this is Arabian Sea. This is Arabian Sea and this is Narmada, which is flowing and it's ready to drain its water. But now it will not form delta, it will not form finger-like projection. It don't want, or it will not get some space to distribute its water. So it will come and it will directly drain its water into Arabian Sea. Here we have taken example of Narmada river, that's why we are saying Arabian Sea. If it's any other reason, so a large body, when a river is coming, when it's directly drain its water into a large water body, that is known as estuary. So this is mainly formed by peninsular rivers. So our next topic was drainage patterns. First of all, what are drainage patterns? So the pattern in which the river flows is known as drainage patterns. Drainage pattern. Depending on the slope of the land, underlying rock structure, means what kind of rock is lying under the land, it is hard or whether it is soft. So underlying rock structure as well as the climatic conditions around the piece of land, how the weather is, whether the temperature is high or it's low, the rate of humidity, speed of wind. So depending on all these things, there are four main types of drainage patterns. They are dendritic pattern, trellis pattern, rectangular pattern and radial pattern. So now we'll see some brief intro about all these four patterns. So first, dendritic pattern. River flows with the slope of terrain. Terrain is the plain area, we can say, another name for plains or the land. So if the terrain will have slope on the east side, so river, it will turn off on the east side, it will distribute some of its water towards east side. Now see in the given picture, this is main river, it is flowing and this side the slope came. Now it will distribute some of its water towards this slope. So this kind of pattern is known as dendritic pattern. Now it resembles the branches of tree. After forming all the distributaries, taking turns towards the slope, after all this process, the river which has formed the dendritic pattern, it will resemble the branches of tree. Like this is the main river, it is flowing, it will distribute its water like this, and at last it will look like a tree, the branches of tree. So this whole resembling the branches of tree, flowing towards the slope of terrain, all this is dendritic pattern. And a good example of dendritic pattern in India we can take is the Ganga river. Yeah, the Ganga river is flowing in dendritic pattern and we know it is an Himalayan river. Now second is trellis pattern. So in this, hard and soft rock exist parallel to each other. Suppose this is hard rock and over here this hollow one is soft rock. Again hard rock is there. Here soft rock, again hard rock. And like this, soft and hard rock exist parallel to each other. Now river is trying and it is flowing. It is trying to cut through or erode through the hard rock, but we know it can't erode through or it can't cut through hard rock. So it will try to cut through or erode through soft rocks, and it will erode through soft rock. Then again it will find for soft rock, again it will erode. So like this, where this hard and soft rock exist parallel to each other, that pattern is known as trellis pattern. Now tributaries are joined at right angle. What are tributaries? Suppose this is main stream which is flowing. Now small streams, they will come and they will fall into, or they will give their water to main stream. They will join with main stream. So these small streams are known as tributaries. And trellis pattern is forming this kind of pattern. These are right angle triangle. We know these all are right angle triangles, or right angle simply we can see. So tributaries, all the tributaries will join the main stream at right angles like this. So this is trellis pattern. Next one is rectangular. By the name we can guess that it will be in rectangular form, or it in rectangle form. So now it's what happened, develops on the strongly jointed rock terrain, where the strongly jointed rock terrain is there. Suppose this is the terrain, they are hardly joined rock in this shape, and again over this some hardly joined rock are there like this. Again river is coming, flowing, it is, and it will go through like this, the space between the rocks, and at last it will form some structure like this one, and it will look like rectangles, and that we named as rectangular pattern. Now see in the given picture, this is the main river, it is flowing in rectangular form, so that is rectangular pattern. Now at last radial pattern, rivers flowing from a central peak to different directions. In this the rivers will flow from a central peak or the center point. Suppose this is the center point, and from here the rivers will flow, or the rivers will originate, and this is radial pattern from center. So all these are drainage patterns. Let's recall them: dendritic pattern, trellis pattern, and rectangular pattern, at last a radial pattern. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. So like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. We'll cover rest of our subtopics in our upcoming videos. Till then, bye bye, take care.